I love the way your mouth sounds on my dick. Hey.
No.
Never again, huh?
No.
All right. That's reasonable.
I have coworkers that listen to this.
Your boss listens now.
No, I didn't tell her what it was called.
She'll find it. She'll just Google your name.
No.
Thank God we both use fake names on this brand new episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion podcast. I am Billy Beck, definitely my real name.
I am Cody Beck, also definitely my real name.
And this is the podcast where we read books that were turned into movies and watch movies that are based on books. Cody, how you been?
Got to watch Angel City lose again.
Good old times. We are so back, baby.
We're gonna watch them lose again on Saturday, probably.
We are so back. Now, Saturday is a rivalry. We'll scrape a draw out of it.
Sure. Your optimism is inspiring. I don't think anything particularly interesting has happened. We discovered that we both struggle with 6th grade math.
Only because I'm doing it usually really stoned. Also, how did you rope me into helping you beat the literal video game for children? Because you don't feel like doing math.
Because it is bright colors and shapes, and you are high, and you start watching the screen, and then you start solving it despite yourself.
You know, you didn't have to be honest.
So how about you?
All right. Got a good grade at the dentist this week.
Fucking one of us had to, I guess.
Oh, yeah. My, like a literal score came out in the green zone instead of in the red zone where it was 6 months ago. I literally got a good grade in dentist, and it was nice.
You did something else that same day.
I did. I treated myself. I went to the Margaritaville.
God, we're such white trash.
At Universal City Walk in one of my Aloha shirts. Walked in there completely alone and enjoyed happy hour. I guarantee you everyone thought I was a dad avoiding his kids at Universal Studios. She's like, I'm going to step out and I left something in the car. And then toss back a few margs at the Jimmy Buffett spot. But no, I saw a movie. I think, allegedly.
What movie did you go to see?
See, it's a funny story. So, back when we were in high school, we had to read a book by George Orwell. We talked about him when we did 1984.
Yeah.
And this year, they turned that book into a movie. And when I say they, I mean a very specific they. And Mark brought this to my attention a few months ago.
Thanks, Mark.
And said, hey, have you seen the trailer for the new Animal Farm? It looks terrible.
Thanks, Mark.
So this week on the podcast, we are talking about Animal Farm, written by George Orwell in 19... and adapted 3 times to film.
45, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
45 times to film?
No.
Shit, I got more watching to do.
It's the Beauty of the Beast.
Oh god, we're screwed when we do that one. Depends on how thorough I decide to be. So, did you have to read this one in high school? Because that's our whole, theme, this.
Yeah. No, I've already gone into exceptional detail about the way my high school English experience worked.
Check out our last episode on Fahrenheit 451 for that.
So I did not read this for assigned work in high school. I did actually read it for, I don't want to say pleasure, because that's not the right word, but I read it for fun in high school, because I had read 1984 and fucking hated it. And so I decided to check if I didn't like the author or I didn't like the story. And I actually really enjoyed Animal Farm. However, I will say, the version of it that I was reading was a graphic novel, so...
Oh, that helps.
Yeah.
Do you remember who drew it?
No.
Oh.
I have no memory.
It'd be cool to...
Yeah, it wouldn't...
If only we had the entire wealth of the world's information.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was similar to the company that did the Screw Tape letters.
which I think was Marvel.
Yeah, that would track. But either way, I enjoyed Animal Farm at the time, but I read it in high school, but not for high school, if that makes sense.
That does make sense, yeah.
What about you? Have you read or seen any of the previous movies?
This was required reading in high school for me, and I want to say it was 9th grade.
That seems about right.
Which is crazy, because it was also, like, if I recall, we learned it in the fall. And I don't remember learning this era of Russian history in high school at all. That's not to say we didn't, I just didn't pay attention in history class a lot. So, I was very confused as to what the novel was referencing. And that was, like, the point of why we were reading it, was that it's, like, an allegory or a satire or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I also don't think I ever specifically went into this era of Russian history. Like, we got the obvious, like, broad strokes, revolution happens, Stalin gets power, Stalin is bad, World War II, Cold War, etc.
Yeah.
But it was, like, all tangential to learning about World War II.
Yeah. Because that was a big part of it.
Yeah, so that, I feel like, is kind of where both of our schools landed. Because it feels like unless you specifically took a class on Russian history, which my school did offer for some fucking reason, it wasn't really covered in our standard curriculum.
It was covered by the weird kids who wanted to get into politics. Because that's still shit you need to know. You need to understand Putin's history with his country to understand why he is the way he is with the Ukraine. Like, but I didn't understand that in high school. I just thought history is boring. I want to know about the future. It's like, oh, yeah, maybe if you study history and learn from it, then you can tell what's going to happen in the future. And, oh, boy, does that feel bleak these days. Anyway, Animal Farm.
History doesn't repeat itself, but sure fucking rhymes sometimes.
No, sometimes it repeats itself.
If you fail to learn from it.
Yeah, we elected him a second time. Animal Farm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I read it back then. Didn't really understand the references it was making. And I think I got bored halfway through, and I don't think I finished it.
It's only like 50 pages.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
Halfway through would be 50 pages.
I said what I said.
Which is funny, because you would down in Animorphs, which is 130 pages?
Yeah, but those kids are turning into animals. Not animals slowly turning into humans.
Spoilers.
Well, listen. If you're here, you've probably seen an adaptation of it, which, depending on which one you've seen, means you might not understand what happened in the book.
It's almost as though you are hitting on the subject that we want to talk about today.
It is, and now I have to decide which trailer we're going to watch.
I mean, considering it was inspired by the shitty one, do you want to watch the shitty one?
I guess we'll watch the trailer for the new one.
I mean, I regret saying it, because now I have to watch the trailer for the new one.
Oh, you don't want to listen to the exciting voice actors, Seth Rogen playing Napoleon, and Woody Harrelson playing Boxer?
The thing is, Woody Harrelson playing Boxer is kind of brilliant.
Well, before we talk about it any further, Cody, get over here. Let's watch a trailer.
Cock-a-doodle!
Hi, Lucky.
What's up?
We are going on vacation.
I do hope it's somewhere good.
What does that say?
Laughter House!
That sounds awesome. I love to laugh.
It's a slaughterhouse.
Look at all this deliciousness. They want this.
Do you want to be food, or do you want freedom? Then let's fight for it! We're free! Whatever goes upon two legs is an enemy.
4 legs, good. 2 legs, bad.
No animal shall wear clothes.
Huh? What? We're show pigs.
And all animals are equal.
Animals running a farm? I had to see it for myself.
Thank you. Aw, so cute.
Activate cute eyes.
I'd rather gouge them out.
I want that farm.
We should move into the farmhouse. So the humans know we're in charge.
You are about to become my new best friends. Pigs and humans working together. I like the optics.
Oh, we love the optics. What are optics?
I think it's a kind of seafood. You're wearing clothes!
Would you look at that? I am.
Everything's different, but we're still friends.
All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
This is our home.
Squealer!
I parked the car!
Let's have no one do that again.
Animal Farm, A Cautionary Tales. In theaters May 1st. Recommended for ages 11 and up.
The only thing that's even minorly clever from that trailer is a cautionary tale. I expect that from, like, a DreamWorks aimed at 5-year-olds.
I realized watching that trailer that that movie is a declined spec script for a Chicken Run sequel that was forced into Animal Farm skin.
Yeah, that's certainly what it feels like.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Also, Based is doing a lot.
oh, a lot of heavy lifting. A lot of heavy lifting, the word based. I'm alright, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be able to not talk about the shitty fucking choices that movie made.
Yep.
Starting with choice of funding, Angel Studios. If you want to know what kind of studio they are, their highest grossing film to date was The Sound of Freedom, the one about a child sex trafficker who... No, wait, I said that backwards. The one about a guy who tried to stop child sex traffickers and turned out to be one, I think, allegedly. Someone involved in that organization was, like, sharing child porn or something.
Well,
allegedly.
also, the story itself is false.
Yeah, that...
It completely made up.
That whole dumb movie.
Yeah.
Which, the one funny joke from this Animal Farm was when Napoleon farts and tells Lucky the pig, we'll get to Lucky the pig, tells Lucky, that's the sound of freedom right there. And I went, because that's as close as they got to humor, and I don't think it was intentional. Anyway, that said, I did watch 2 other adaptations of this.
Surely none of them had any political implications.
Well, I watched a 1999 made-for-TV version. That was not bad.
Okay.
Henson did the puppetry for all the animals.
Okay.
So it looked pretty good. And then I watched the 1954 animated Animal Farm that was secretly funded by the CIA. But was like 72 minutes long.
That's honestly fascinating to me, because how much of the history of the publication of Animal Farm do you know about?
Almost none.
So he wrote this in like 43. He wrote this while the war was still happening, because he saw the writing on the wall in term of, he being George Orwell, of course.
Okay.
He saw the writing on the wall in terms of how Russia was using World War II to kind of smooth over their reputation and was building bridges with other nations. And he wanted to make it clear that it was scum inside and out, and it was not what they were pretending it was. And so he wrote it in 43. It was declined by over 20 publishing houses, all for various different reasons. The funniest of which was there's no use for animal stories. He finally got it published, and it ended up being delayed for a year because of the Battle of Stalingrad. He actually modified the animal version of Stalingrad in the novel.
Which is the windmill, Battle of the Windmill, I believe?
Yes. Instead of having Napoleon drop to the ground, he actually has Napoleon stay upright to basically, in his own weird way, honor Stalin for his own service at the battle. For not fleeing Moscow when it was happening.
Fair.
And so he made that tweak. So this is happening as the war is developing. He's writing this as shit is happening. He knows that this is controversial, to say the least.
Yes.
And so finally gets someone to agree to publish it, and it gets delayed for a year because the end of the war finally comes out in 45. And then there's this weird pushback as McCarthyism and the Cold War develop, where suddenly this novel becomes tantamount and extremely important, and Orwell's like, oh no.
Because from my understanding and my read of it from when I had read it before, and it's still partly there in the earlier adaptations at least, it's not necessarily anti-communism.
It is specifically anti what is happening under Stalin.
It's so specific to Russia, and so specific to Stalin especially.
Orwell was a democratic socialist. He wanted democratic socialism. He did not like capitalism. He was of essentially the Snowball, the Trotsky element.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Snowball is definitely the one pig that, like, is empathetic. Like, actually seems to want to do good.
Yeah.
Is there a scene where they hunt down Snowball, like, on a beach and put a pickaxe in its head in the book?
No, Snowball essentially becomes a ghost that they use as the boogeyman.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, because Snowball's supposed to be Trotsky.
Oh.
Man,
no.
even the new one had a scene that... No, I'm just kidding.
No. He disappears completely from the story.
Yeah. Real, which nation was the bad nation in 1984? Real that vibes.
Yeah.
For Snowball after Snowball's disappearance. But yeah, what I was saying before was like, I can see why he would be upset that McCarthy would, take hold of this book, because he was pushing a very anti-communist agenda and basically doing the same shit Napoleon is doing.
Yes.
By taking somebody else's words and using them to mean something completely unintended.
And Orwell, unfortunately, was experiencing a lot of turmoil in his personal life. His wife had just passed away. His own illness was getting worse. And he had a child to raise alone once his wife passed away.
Oof.
So, and I believe he dies, like, around the same time as Stalin. I don't think he lives much longer. But yeah, he did not have a great time once this book came out.
That's disappointing, because I love the story. And I love the use of representation, I guess, and establishing exactly what's going on. Like, it helps me understand Russia better, having read Animal Farm. Yeah. And that's, like, a lasting effect. I can't imagine reading it at the time.
Yeah, it's very me watching The Producers for the first time and realizing this was, 40 fucking 6 that this movie was coming out. Like...
Mel Brooks is The Producers?
Yeah, when
it was 60?
Was it 60? Okay.
Yeah.
Still super close in time.
Yeah, 15 years.
Yeah.
It's like when that 9/11 movie came out in 2016 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Remember Me. Oh, that was older.
9/11. It's very, the energy of this traumatic event is still happening. It's kind of like reading stuff about COVID now. It's still kind of happening in a different way, but we're experiencing it in a different way, and we also, I don't know, it's just, it's very, I'm not being very articulate right now.
But I get what you're saying, because you're basically saying,
history is being written as we're still experiencing it.
It's being satirized in real time.
Yeah.
It's being parodied in real time.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really happen that often, that I could think of.
Yeah, I'm thinking the closest we have...
Not in novels.
Yeah, I'm thinking the closest thing we have in modern pop culture is going to be South Park.
South Park, yeah. South Park or, music.
Yeah.
Especially independent underground SoundCloud music can be really... Like what Afro Man was writing during his trial.
Yes. Immediately.
Yeah, that's all we kind of get now. We don't get anything quite like this, or nothing quite as lasting as this.
Yeah.
But we should probably talk about the plot a little bit.
Yeah, because you mentioned a name that I don't recognize.
Yeah, so the plot of Animal Farm, as I believe it is in the novel. Why am I the one doing this part?
Because I want to correct you as you get it.
Okay, so here's what I think, based on the 3 movies I watched. Here's what I think the novel is about.
Okay.
So, shit, whose perspective is the novel from? Because all of the movies were different.
It's not really from anyone's perspective. It's kind of from everyone's perspective.
Okay.
The closest you get is maybe...
Because I don't feel like it's from the perspective of a narrator, but...
Yeah. The female horse is kind of...
Like the eyes you see the story through?
Yeah, like it's third person...
None of the four I could have said.
Yeah, it's third person omniscient, because you as the reader know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
But when you enter a character's head, it's usually one of the horses or Old Benjamin.
Okay, because like the 54, I think, just had a narrator who happened to also be the guy who did all the voices. But it was hard to tell. Like, I read it and was like, really? And like, yeah, but he did all the animals and stuff too. The 90s one was from the perspective of Jessie, a dog who just had puppies, who I'm not sure survives the book.
She does not. She's not killed. She's not pogromed, but she does pass away of old age.
Okay. But she's a character.
Yes.
Because she's not in the other two.
Yes.
And then this year one, over the course of the film, you see Lucky tell the story of Animal Farm, but the whole film itself is narrated by Boxer.
The dead horse?
From beyond the grave, yes.
There's a joke about beating a dead horse there.
Yeah, they tried.
Even in animation, you can't let the dead horse rest. There we go.
There we go. So, okay, so there's a farmer named Jones, who is a shitty farmer, mostly because he's alcoholic, partly because he's British, I think.
Yes, this takes place specifically in England.
Okay, thought so.
Orwell was in London reporting on the war.
That makes sense. And one day, the farmer just fucks off to the pub, decides, I'm not going to feed the animals today. And the animals get together. An old major gathers them for a bard meeting and says, we're going to revolt. All of us are equal. All animals are equal. Here are the 7 rules of animal. And let's revolt. And then they revolt and they chase Jones off of the farm. And they start to build society. And then more farmers show up to try and kick the animals off the farm. And they hold them back. And as they try to rebuild society, there's a struggle between Napoleon and Snowball. 2 of them are pigs. And they help teach the other animals how to read and write.
Yes.
Snowball has really good ideas about equality. And Napoleon saw how humans lived and feigned disgust. And instead realized, I want that for myself. And Napoleon uses his cult of personality to beat down the good ideas of Snowball. Until Snowball is exiled and made a ghost, as you said before. The villain of Animal Farm. And then Napoleon has the animals work their asses off to build this windmill, which gets blown up by the humans, but they fight them off, and then they rebuild the windmill. And the original promise from Snowball was that the windmill would lead to 3-day work weeks and less stress on the animals. But Napoleon's just using it for, labor, and he's keeping all the food for himself and all the excess for himself. And he and the other pigs start to break the rules that they set. And they amend them in the middle of the night where they're painted on the side of a silo. And then just gaslight all the animals, saying, no, it's always been, don't sleep in a bed with sheets. We're fine, we're pigs. And then in the end, Napoleon is walking around on 2 feet, having changed 2 legs good, 4 legs bad to 4 legs better, and is now wearing clothes and is a full-on dictator. And he gets animals killed a lot.
Yes, he
for various crimes that aren't really crimes and whatnot.
The crimes are always colluding with Snowball.
Yeah, whether or not Snowball's a presence.
Yes.
And I believe the novel ends with him in power.
Yes.
Because none of the movies do.
Correct.
So how far off was I?
In the broadest strokes, you got it.
I just went through the plot of the 99 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like they got pretty close.
Yeah, like there's some minor things, like minor distinctions that are important, but minor, like...
Oh, Boxer dies and gets sent to the glue factory.
Boxer...
But they lie and say they're sending him to a hospital.
Yes.
They initiate trade with, I think his name is Whimper, or is it Pilkington?
So Whimper is the emissary. Pilkington and Frederick are the 2 farmers.
The other farmers. Side. So the 99 had no Frederick. I think the 54, I don't remember a Pilkington. And Whimper in the new one is the banker. And Frederick and Pilkington are Frida Pilkington, who is the rival farmer, but really she's just like a Jeff Bezos allegory.
That does not work.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, Frederick is, in this allegory, explicitly Hitler.
Oh!
Yeah. Frederick is the one who blows up the windmill.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What with the name and all being very German.
Yes.
Is Pilkington Churchill?
More like the landed classes of England, but yes.
Okay. That makes sense. I was wondering about that. Is Whymper the Swiss?
Probably.
Or the French?
More like the Swiss. Whymper is the one who's facilitating the functions.
Okay. Yeah, the human characters really got, like, a bad rap in these movies, because they're all fucked up in all of them. There was, like, a subplot in the 99 one where Mrs. Pilkington is fucking Mr. Jones on the side.
Sure.
And also their kids are little shitheads.
I mean, every human kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, Jones's story is kind of hilarious, because it's just like, he's a drunk. He lost a court battle, and that made him more of a drunk, so he became an even shittier farmer. And then, like you said, he goes down to the pub and comes back and forgets to feed the animals. And the animals are like, the fuck, bro? And that's where the seeds of the revolt begin. But also, Old Major doesn't specifically say that the revolution is nigh. He's just like, hey, y'all, I had this dream.
Doesn't he die right there?
Yes.
That's right. I forgot that detail.
Yeah, he's the statue that they worship at.
Yeah. They do a like a memorial, like they paint the ground white where he died in the 99 one, I think. Or maybe that was the 50. I watched all three in one day.
Yeah.
So they don't blend together too much, considering one of them is like adding oil to water.
So I'm still kind of stuck on Lucky here.
Oh, yeah. Should I explain Lucky?
Yeah, because Lucky's not in the novel.
No, he's not. I know he's not. He is a younger pig who was made up for... Fuck! Carolina scored again. Yeah, I've got playoff hockey on. Deal with it. You could take the white out of the trash, but you can't take the trash out of the white. Is that how that... You can take the Philly kid out of Philly, but you can't take the Philly out of the kid. So Lucky was made up specifically for the movie because Angel Studios, the company based out of Provo, Utah, yes, that means what you think it means, wanted to market this story for children. And they needed to have a character in there that the children could relate to. So they had a young pig named Lucky, who Snowball had taught to read before the movie even began, and is the, I guess, audience surrogate. But...
Question.
Yeah.
Didn't the trailer end with saying this is good for 11-year-olds and above?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, it is.
But
what?
Usually the cute animal mascots are aimed at, like, 6 and 7-year-olds.
Yeah. But this movie has naughty juice in it, Cody. So one of the 7 tenets of animalism is thou shalt not drink alcohol.
Yes.
The new one calls it naughty juice. The whole time. They don't shy away from showing Lucky the underage pig drink from a red Solo cup. But we don't know what's in there. It's just called naughty juice. It's college party rules. As long as it's in a red Solo cup, cops aren't going to bust you. You know? Well, they still will. Don't listen to my advice, kids. Don't drink till you're 21, children.
You say that like you did.
I didn't.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
You obeyed the law.
Be like me. Don't drink till you're 21. And then you won't get in trouble in college. Still almost got in trouble at one time.
Well, that's because there were underage kids at the party.
No, that's because there was the one party I was at where the girl's room we were in got busted because her RA saw a bottle. And there were like 13 of us in a disciplinary meeting. And including the RA and the dean or whatever. And she's like, tell me what happened here. So I saw that empty bottle on her. Wait, did you say empty bottle? Yeah. Did you not see anybody drinking? No, but I saw the bottle. All right, everyone but you two leave. What was really funny is when this happened, the reason the door was open was because we had just run out of alcohol and we were leaving to go get more. But digression aside. Yeah, it's good for 11-year-olds, I guess. But yeah, cute animals are generally aimed for the younger. But this movie's got fart jokes in it.
Well, I mean, yes, you mentioned one of them.
Yeah, they crash a Lamborghini into a pool.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So we just had this conversation with Fahrenheit 451, right?
We did.
When you're taking an older story and you're trying to upgrade it for the modern era,
mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily hate that impulse, but I hate every part of what this movie did.
See, and that's what the 99 one did well. Because the 99 one, they acted like they knew what Animal Farm was about. Right? Like, the 54, they got it, but they also kind of fuffed with it a little bit because the CIA was funding that. And they were using it to push, like, an anti-communist agenda. And they also changed the ending to make it so that the animals revolted again against the pigs. I think it was a psyop to try and get the fucking Russian people to revolt against... I guess, was Stalin still alive, or was that Khrushchev at that point? I don't know.
I mean... No, Khrushchev, it would have been Khrushchev.
Okay.
But also, I mean, the fucking original Russian Revolution didn't happen for 40 fucking years. So, I mean, if the CIA could incite them with a single movie, the CIA is more powerful than we thought.
Yeah, they didn't, and they're not. Wait, who's that coming in through the skylight? But the 99 one understood where we were in Russian history at that point. And I remember growing up in the 90s and being taught the Cold War just after it ended. And, like, being taught, like, the way we were taught in the 90s, Russia was really optimistic. And the bit I always remember is that they had their first McDonald's and it opened, like, 1996 or something like that. And that was in my textbook in middle school.
Are we both the first generation that, like, doesn't remember before there was a Berlin Wall?
Pretty much.
Because it was...
They tore the wall down in, I think, 89.
Yeah.
And then the Soviet Union disbanded in 92.
Yeah.
Like, it was the years we were born is when these major, like, global shifting events happened. So, yeah, like, my introduction to Russia was this optimistic one, this hopeful one. And the 1999 adaptation reflects that. And it shows, you know, the rise of them, the animals. And what happens is Jesse and some of the other animals go to a corner of the farm and hide out and wait it out. And eventually Napoleon dies and new humans come and buy the farm. Capitalism comes back to Russia. And the message at the end of that is, like, we don't know what these new humans will bring, but we know that we can get through whatever it is. And it was like a semi-optimistic, like, even if shit goes south from here, like, we know we can handle it, we're tougher because of it kind of view. And it was a really interesting take to modernize the story for that time.
Okay.
The 2026 one didn't do any of that shit.
It's funny because I'm really enjoying this school one because I get all these fucking literary compendiums.
Oh, I love that. That means you get to lead and do the research.
So there's actually a review where basically, I don't remember which book it was in, but essentially in Animal Farm, making a happy ending kind of betrays the point that Orwell was walking, which is that, like, his view was the last stand that the animals had, the last chance they had to kind of maintain their equality was the milk and apples bit. Because you have the pigs already stealing the milk, and you have the pigs already commandeering the apples, and they have these very persuasive arguments that are like, well, we need it because it's brain food. We don't even like milk and apples, but we need it. And Orwell, in his own view, that was the point where the other animals needed to fight back and could have still fought back. It was too late by the time that everything else moved forward.
Yeah.
And so his view was basically that, like, not necessarily that these animals were a lost cause, but that by the time you get to the end of the novel, there's nothing they can do. They've been under this new regime for too long to change again. And they've introduced too many animals to this new regime who only know this. And so it's kind of, unfortunately, it's kind of where we've ended up in Russia.
Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't necessarily another revolution, but the pig society, I guess if we were to do a thoroughly modern take, the pigs lose power, and, like, I don't know, maybe one of the dogs steps up and then does the same shit.
Yeah.
The dog leader funded by, because the dogs were the security in that one.
Yeah, the dogs were the NKVD.
And Putin was KGB, right? So, like, yeah, like, a dog takes power and is just funded by humans siphoning money in through rats or some shit, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a line about how it's not that there's necessarily a lack of food, it's just there's so many pigs and so many dogs by the end. And it's fascinating because I think I talked about this at the time, but a couple of months ago, at some point last year, I read a novel, not a novel, I read an explanation of Chernobyl. And a decent chunk of that was talking about where the Russian state was at prior to Chernobyl. And, like, what kind of birthed this catastrophic failure. And I kept being reminded of all of the little anecdotes and bits about the bureaucracy and how difficult the bureaucracy was to handle in this novel. Reading Animal Farm, I was like, oh, this is going to turn into you're not going to be able to get the right supplies because they aren't being created, etc., etc.
Because the people are fearful of retribution if you're saying or doing the wrong thing, and nothing gets approved until it gets approved by the big man. And, like, watching the film made me understand the film The Death of Stalin better.
Yeah.
You know, like, just like, why are they infighting so this? Why is it so comical and yet believable that they're like this? And it's because this is how it was set up.
Yeah. And then you also have, there's a story, the book is called Midnight in Chernobyl, by the way. And there's an anecdote about how the guy who built Chernobyl and the town that it's located in, Pripyat, and everything else, he tried to resign because he knew the plans were bullshit. He wasn't getting supplies he needed. There was no way he was going to be able to fucking maintain this schedule and this deadline that he'd been given by the 5-year plan. So he tried to resign. And apparently when he turned in his resignation letter, the commanding officer that he turned it into ripped it up in front of him. And he was made to understand by that gesture, you're not allowed to quit. You're not allowed to stop. It doesn't matter how many setbacks you have. It doesn't matter whatever. You just need to make shit up and make it happen.
Yeah.
And you can see that happening already at the end of Animal Farm, because you have the animals who are doing the work and providing the labor and etc. You have the end of that. You can already see that it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
Because they've already mentioned they had to purchase other animals to expand.
Yep. So we understand this with modern context. Do you want to know how the plot differs in the new one?
I am fascinated and horrified to learn how they change it.
So the film opens with all of the animals being led into a truck destined for the slaughterhouse.
That seems ill-advised.
Just everything from a baby chick who spends the entire, perceivably months-long story still with the eggshell on its head. Everything from that little chick to Boxer the horse, heading to the same slaughterhouse.
Is there an explanation?
Bank bought the farm.
Okay.
And
more than I expected.
Jones gets kicked off the farm. The animals revolt then and there because of the wise words of Old Major's not in it. Because of the wise words of Snowball and the dumb words of Napoleon inspire them all to escape. And then the opening credits roll as they fight off the humans, and the humans leave in their slaughterhouse truck. And then they now have Animal Farm. And Napoleon really wants to be like a cool father figure to Lucky, because he can tell Lucky is smart, and he can also tell Lucky will like help him get away with shit. And Snowball,
Oh boy.
Played by a trans woman, which I'm not sure what they're trying to say with that, but at least she got money for it.
Honestly, it really feels like they're saying, we're cool with trans people. Look at us. We're not bigoted.
Yeah, anyway. No, what it screams to me is whoever wrote this didn't work for Angel, or whoever cast it didn't work for Angel. Yeah. They just funded a lot of it. But Snowball has these ideas to build a water wheel for electricity so that they could power the milking machines, so that little Lucky doesn't have to spend all day every day milking the cows. Like that scene where Emilio Estevez is fueling the trucks in Maximum Overdrive. So Napoleon doesn't want to do that because he thinks it's stupid. And just gets all the other animals to agree it's stupid, it's a dumb idea, we shouldn't do it, for no real reason. So Snowball's like, whatever. They still work like a whole season on the farm, and Snowball convinces them all to put half of the grain they harvest into a silo so they'll have food during the winter. And then the closing moment of her story is when Napoleon's like, why don't we just get some of your precious grain that you keep hidden from us because you don't like us? And she makes the one mistake of speaking her mind and saying, you guys are just too stupid to get it. in a moment of passion, and then they kick her off of Animal Farm, and we never see her again. And they eat all the grain, and then they realize they don't have electricity. They don't. Before they do that, they need money because a month has gone by apparently, and the bank guy comes by saying, "You need to give us $1,000 to keep the farm." He says to the pig he just met. And
they just accept the talking pigs?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do. And he shows them an AI-generated dollar bill image because it was definitely a president's face, but they were definitely not actual words on the bill. And he's like, I need 1,000 of these magic papers. That's what he calls them, magic papers, because, 11 and up. You need 1,000 magic papers a month to pay for this. So the animals are like, all right, we're going to have...
foreclose?
The bank owns it.
Okay.
So technically, no, they don't need to pay because they're animals and don't have rights in the United States of America, where I believe this takes... Oh, it has to take, because it was the fucking George Washington on the dollar bill.
Okay.
Anyway, so the animals go, well, I guess we'll have to sell some of the food we're making. So they open a farmer's market for one day only. They get a literal bucket of cash.
Sure.
And then Whimper shows up to take his cut, to wet his beak. And being a kind banker only takes 1,000 out and doesn't take the whole bucket. Recognizing these animals probably can't count because they said, here you go, and handed him a whole fucking bucket of money. He could have said, thank you, and left. But no, he gives them their money back. So naturally, the pigs, who are already in charge at this point, go on a shopping spree. They're already living in the farmhouse at this point. Mm-hmm. So they go on a shopping spree to the super mall owned by Frida Pilkington, played by Glenn Close, who wants their parcel of land for reasons.
Sure.
Actually, we'll get to them, but they just don't make sense.
Okay. There's already a lot of things that don't make sense.
Yeah, so they go on a shopping spree and they buy a bunch of shit. And the shit still won't work because they don't have electricity in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
Even though they had a bucket of cash, could have paid a power bill. Instead, they still finish the lopsided water wheel that Snowball designed. And they make power. And they throw a huge party in which all of the pigs appear on two legs and in clothes. This is about 30 minutes into a 90-minute movie. You know the power of the scene at the end of the 99 one, at the end of the novel, when Napoleon appears in the fucking uniform the first time?
It's not even the uniform, it's the walking on two legs.
I've only seen it in the 99. He walks on two legs for the first time.
Yeah.
And puts on the coat and it's like, oh shit, we're fucked. And then it ends there. So at the 30-minute part, Squealer, who's comic relief, played by Kieran Culkin, is in one of those baby bumpers because he can't quite walk. And Napoleon is driving a car. And Lucky's wearing a fucking fancy hoodie and shoes and shit, and he's flirting with... So they just
look like every other anthropomorphized
They just look like an
anthropomorphized
anthropomorphized animal. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the rest of the movie, all the pigs are just doing that. And then Frida Pilkington sees that they've made power, electricity, and she decides to buy them out and offers them free food forever, because now it's winter and they're out of food. And that little baby chick still has the half an eggshell on his head. Because time only progresses when it makes sense to, and never mind.
Yep.
So it's winter, and they're out of food. Oh, and then there's a moment where they're all starving, and all the animals are about to revolt. And Frida Pilkington, who has yet to cut a deal with Napoleon, for some reason just drops a bunch of food on the farm, and then is like, all right, buddy, we're gonna work together, and we're gonna, instead of your little water wheel, I'm gonna help you build a hydroelectric dam there. And once the dam's done, then you'll just get free food forever for your farm, and you guys can just hang out and do whatever all the time. And then they come in, and they're on the farm. And how does Boxer hurt himself in the movie or in the novel again?
So the windmill is destroyed twice. The first time it's straight up just blown over by weather, and then the second time it's blown up by the animals or by the humans. It's an allegory for the Knieper Dam.
Yeah.
So the windmill is blown up, and so it's between the two that Boxer hurts himself. Because he's working so hard to build the windmill the second time. And he is working all by himself, and he has an injury, I think, also from the battle. He has some buckshot in his leg.
Okay.
And yeah, so he ends up basically just working himself to death.
Okay,
and
the 99 was pretty faithful then.
Yeah, and it's because he's old. He's 11 years old, which I guess is old for a horse.
So in the new one, after they finish building a dam, a piece of construction equipment falls on a human, and Boxer breaks his leg, pulling the mechanical equipment off the human to save the human's life. And then a drone comes down and drags him to the glue factory. And then we get maybe 30 seconds to mourn him before we move on to the next bit.
So, I will say Boxer does actually think he's killed a human in the battle, and he's very regretful. He doesn't want to kill anyone. It turns out he didn't actually kill him, but that, unfortunately, that does track. Boxer does not want anyone to die.
I kind of hate that. I hate that tracks. Fuck. But anyway, who cares about Boxer? He's dead now, except for in narration post-mortem. So the dam is built, and Napoleon is going to give the keynote speech to christen it, I guess. So Napoleon...
Is that the TED Talk bit from the trailer?
So, yes. So Napoleon, with his microphone on, in front of hundreds of thousands of humans and no animals, says the iconic line, "All animals are equal, but some are more equal to others than others," which is a line that makes no sense delivered to an audience of humans.
It also makes no sense in the context of the dam.
None at all. Absolutely none at all. So the animals, Lucky, who's turned on the pigs at this point, because there's a girl pig that he's thirsting for. They call each other Babe, which I think is a reference to Babe, and it's real fucking ew.
I'm in physical pain.
Yeah. Imagine having to watch it. So Lucky and the animals have a plan, and what they're going to do is they're going to embarrass Napoleon, because surely that will work. And the way they embarrass him is by shaking the stage that he's standing on, and then showing a literal 1-second clip looped back and forth of him falling over the first time he stood on two legs. Which is really sad, because the modern allegory of it, he's supposed to be like Trump, except they write the Trump figure to just be a selfish idiot and not the, racist fascist that our president is. And obviously, embarrassing that man has never worked, because he's still fucking president. But I digress. So they shake him around a little bit, and then they show a video of him falling over, and all the humans point and laugh because the movie allowed it. And then they set off a bunch of fireworks, which were in like standard, roadside fireworks, which were enough to blow up the dam.
Sure.
Which says something about Pilkington's engineers.
Yeah.
Not good at their job.
You get what you pay for?
Hey, this one wasn't designed by Snowball. I'd get it if Snowball designed this one. She's a pig. But the dam blows up, and then Lucky and Napoleon have a climactic fight on a floating silo, which then sinks and crushes Napoleon. And you believe that Lucky's actually underwater and drowning as well, except you know that he's not, because 3 minutes prior, they went back to the end where he's telling the story to the little chicken and a dog who were also both fucking there the whole time.
Okay.
So you have no fear that he's actually dead, because they just reminded you he's going to survive. And then he comes out of the water, and Napoleon's done, and the humans are gone, and Animal Farm is theirs again, and Boxer is watching from the stars. And Lucky says, the moral of the story. Now, Cody.
Uh-huh.
If you could sum up the moral of the novel in, a sentence, what would that sentence be?
Don't get carried away by charismatic leaders.
Okay. That's pretty good. That I would consider to be a cautionary tale in the time of Trump. The moral of a cautionary Animal Farm, a cautionary tale, as spoken in the here's the moral way that a family film ends. Lucky says, "What's important is that we work hard for our friends."
You didn't work hard, though. I mean, I guess technically you did in the fight.
No,
maybe.
He didn't. The big climactic fight was mostly just Napoleon saying, "But I wanted to be a father figure to you," and Lucky's like, "You used me," and then he steps aside, I think, when Napoleon charges him. I don't know. I just wanted to leave at that point. It's the most fucking Sunday morning cartoon. Moral of the story is... But it's not even the moral of the story they told. The story they told was, if anything, don't trust capitalists? But they need to make money, so, they can't really say that is the moral? Because my favorite part... Now, I mentioned this is Angel Studios.
Uh-huh.
And their most profitable film so far was The Sound of Farts. Wait, what was it called? Sound of Freedom.
Uh-huh.
And part of the reason that movie was so financially successful is because they had a pay-it-forward campaign, wherein you could buy tickets to this movie for somebody else to go see it, so that somebody in need could go see the movie. Now, what's crazy is they sold so many tickets to this movie, and so many theaters were empty. And no one's ever come out and said, like, that they've claimed a ticket. No one's quite sure how to claim, or was sure how to claim those pay-it-forward tickets at the time. So anyway, the credits start rolling, and they do, like, the splash screen credits for each of the main actors. And there's some decent C to B level actors in this. And the splash screens are historical events, but all the humans in them are pigs. Which I thought was really weird when they did, like, the classic image of them pulling down the statue of Saddam Hussein, except it's hippies doing it. So, like, I didn't quite get it. But as they're showing these images, a timer starts appearing in the corner. Farm meeting in 1:32. Make your voice heard, H-E-R-D. 1:15. And I was so curious. And when the timers ended, black screen, 2 QR codes pop up on the screen. Says, how did we do? We did a good job, scan this one. We did a bad job, scan this one. And then for the rest of the credits, to the side, the standard scrolling black and white credits, to the one side were the 2 QR codes. One highlighted in green said correct answer, and then underneath it had a website that said share pig, and it had a little disclaimer about their ticket sharing program. And then the other QR code had a red square around it, and it said wrong answer. And it just said, url.com/pig. I could not, and I looked at them for a while, could not see any difference in the 2 QR codes. I'm not about to scan them. They had different URLs, but the QR codes were exactly the same. Mark, thank you, Mark, with your fancy browsers that hide your activities or whatnot, did go to both URLs. And SharePig obviously is like, here's how to buy tickets for somebody else to see Animal Farm, which I really wish I'd known about beforehand, so I wouldn't have had to pay to see that. And then the other one was, think we can do better, give us money to help.
I feel like.
Yeah. Real fucking... You can't have an anti-capitalist moral. And then, money please!
I would almost applaud the ballsiness if we weren't a year deep into the second Trump.
Yeah, it was just... It made me feel fucking ill. And a lot about that movie made me feel gross.
So, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did any of the adaptations that you watched handle how baby animals keep appearing?
No. Wait. Hold up. One sec.
I mean, it kind of sounds like Lucky and Girl Pig.
Sorry, I'm just checking my notes, because I thought I had, I remember thinking about writing down a note about, oh, these animals be fucking. But I can't find the notes, so I can't remember what that was about. So, I don't know. I think animals appeared in the 99. That one felt actually pretty close to the source material, while adding on that, like, new ending.
So, the puppies.
Mm-hmm.
They
do handle them getting taken away from her and raised to be child soldiers.
Yes, okay. So, the puppies exist at the beginning of the novel. Well, at the revolution. And they're taken away from their mother and they become the KGB and the NKVD and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
The allegories.
They become Border Patrol and DICE and...
Alphabet soup. And so, when we get to Snowball being run off the farm, the dogs are actually what do it. And that's the first time that any of the other animals have seen the puppies in so long. They've been hidden and sequestered for so long that the other animals forgot about them. And it takes them a minute to realize who and what they are.
That's the 99 because they did it from the puppy's mother's perspective. They did it from Jessie's perspective. So she sees them come out and chase Snowball off the farm, and she's broken because her babies don't recognize her. And at the end of the film, they do. So, like, they close that arc, which I actually really liked that, like, this is how it felt from inside. Wait a minute, it didn't say that before. Like, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
That perspective.
Yeah. So, because baby animals keep happening on the farm, but, like, the hens, they are told basically, hey, we need money so that we don't, starve to death. We have to buy equipment and stuff. So you actually need to lay 400 eggs a week. And we're going to need to actually, just kidding, it's actually 600. And they're like, hey, these are like we're getting ready to, like, hatch these. Like, these are going to be baby egg. Like, we were told these were going to be our babies. What do you mean? And they basically, like, go on a minor strike, minor rebellion, and essentially Napoleon starves them into submission. Like, he refuses to feed them until they start handing over their eggs. But my thing is, like, okay, then how do you have any future baby chickens? How are you getting more baby pigs? Because there's no female pigs that you talk about. You talk about cows, but you don't talk about any bulls. You've got Boxer and Lady Horse, but they're not boning, they're old. Like, what do you mean?
That womb dried up.
So, like, where are these babies coming from? And also, if babies are still happening, how? Is that a consensual thing that's happening, especially amongst the pigs?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that I'm getting a little feminist and throwing a little feminism into
bring it, because there was none of that in these movies.
Into the anti-communism, but I'm just kind of like, obviously George Orwell didn't necessarily think it was important, but I would be fascinated to see a perspective that deals with, like, the female experience in Russia, or the female experience on the animal farm vibe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like, we get just the tiniest bit of that in the 99, because we see Jessie when she has the puppies and they get taken away. Yeah. And we see her react to that, but that's about it. There's no, like... There's a handful of female characters. Like, they cast Laverne Cox as Snowball.
Yeah.
And she gets run off the farm.
Which something women are uppity and shouldn't get education.
They cast Kathleen Turner as Benjamin. But
okay.
Benjamin's still a dude. And then they added Tiffy and Puff, I think, are the two show pigs. And Lucky flirts with the one, and the other is obsessed with Napoleon.
Sure.
And that's pretty much... And they made, like, Frida Pilkington a girl as well, but she's played by Glenn Close. And she's just, you know, a power figure.
It seems like she doesn't really have
She just, like, manipulates Napoleon.
Yeah.
And just uses him to, you know, fuck with shit. Which, I mean, that's an interesting read of it, that, like, Trump's in the pockets of billionaires.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be one and he knows he's not really one.
Yeah. I mean, I remember having a similar conversation in 1984 when we were talking about what... Oh my god, I can't remember her name. The love interest character.
Red Sash?
Yeah. What her torture may have been. Because I don't know if it's something that it was like he wanted to leave it implied, or he didn't have the imagination or the... Audacity isn't the word I want. He didn't want to imagine it himself.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. So, it's interesting that does seem to be a consistent thing, is that he doesn't necessarily write from the female perspective or the female experience, which is fine. He's a dude in the 40s.
Yeah,
but
they had just found out that women had perspectives back in the 40s.
They took them off the Quaaludes long enough. Oh no, the Quaaludes were the 50s and 60s, sorry.
Yeah. I think it was just morphine and opium in the fucking 30s.
Yeah, and also,
damn, y'all had it good for a while. No, you didn't.
Lobotomies.
Yeah. Medically prescribed vibrators. Women's medicine's crazy.
You got ghosts in your blood. Do cocaine about it. Yeah, so that's just an interesting thing that I noticed, is that he doesn't really address where babies come from on Animal Farm. Although he does go out of his way to talk about the animals that get purchased later.
Yeah, that all kind of gets missed in the movies, which is fine. Like, it's interesting that it's referenced in the novel, but like it would kind of take away from the movie, I guess. Like, it's a little too off the path for the A plot. There's no resolution to it. Like,
I want the wide Sargasso Sea of Animal Farm. I don't think that's the joke you get, because I don't think you've read either of those.
Nope, I just smiled. Yeah, whatever you say, dear.
Wide Sargasso Sea is...
Sounds like a great cocktail at a tiki bar.
It is the perspective of the first wife from Wuthering Heights. No, not Wuthering Heights, the other one. Jane Eyre.
Definitely both things I've read and understand.
So, yeah. I mean, it sounds like the 99 did a pretty good job, but why do you think this novel is so difficult to adapt?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I think it's because of the combination of the subject matter of Animal Farm and the time in which it was written. And I think if it wasn't studied in schools, because it's a real easy way to teach kids Russian history without having to do a whole fucking unit on Russian history. You can like kill two birds with one stone using Animal Farm.
It's also it's a really easy and quick way to be like, this is an allegory.
Yeah, and it explains what this type of writing is. That's how it was used in my school, was to explain what an allegory is.
Yeah.
And then it was just like the Russian history bit was a bit of a bonus. It's like, all right, we're making sure you at least learn some of this shit.
Yeah.
Right? If it wasn't for that aspect of Animal Farm, I don't know if anyone would read it today. Or if it would be anything other than like, oh, remember that time the guy who wrote 1984 did a weird thing about Russia?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of really timely... You mentioned South Park earlier. Going back and rewatching some of those old South Parks that are like really to the minute, those real like 3-5 day episodes, a lot of the jokes don't land as well separated from time. Like, I didn't watch a lot of South Park growing up, not any growing up. I watched a little bit in college, and that was about it. And I remember the week Guitar Hero 3 came out, I was very excited for it. I went out and I got it. I played a bunch of it. Alienated some friends, because all I wanted to do was play Guitar Hero. And then that episode came out, and they were making fun of people like me. And I was like, oh my god. But they're right. Like, it's funny. But shit, yeah, maybe I should cool down with my Guitar Hero. Thinking about that now and looking back, I'm like, no one plays Guitar Hero anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's so in the moment.
It's almost
that
you can't divorce it from its context
exactly.
without losing something that makes it the reason you read it or watch it.
Yeah, it becomes less of something to enjoy, and it becomes more of like a historical document.
Yeah.
Like, it's less something you read for fun and more something you read to understand what it was like at the time.
Yeah, it's very much a, like you said, a historical document. Like, going back and looking at old South Park episodes, it's almost like a time capsule of what were we thinking about, what were we talking about, and then also you have the butterfly effect in the future of, well, South Park was able to push the boundaries, and now we have other things that are like it, that are less time capsule-y. How many novels did we get as a result of Animal Farm?
Mm-hmm.
How did Animal Farm push the boundaries? Or even how did just Animal Farm existing, and then we get the iterations of it, how did that change the way we handle allegory and historical fiction and etc.?
Yeah. And like the other side of that thought, if Animal Farm didn't come out until the 60s, if that Guitar Hero episode didn't come out till today, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because it was so long ago, the people that lived it forgot it. And I think that's why adaptations, for the most part, don't really work. Like I said it a few times, the 99 one comes as close as it can to the novel. And it ends on that more upbeat note because they had to do something. And I appreciated that they did that because they had to reference that time has passed. The 54 kind of made up an ending for what they wanted to happen.
Yeah.
And this year's, because it's so far removed, like 54, we're deep in the Cold War. 99, it had just ended. Everyone watching it remembers. But kids now, 11-year-olds now, have no context for this. It's too young for them to have been taught the Russian Revolution in school. So you almost can't adapt it for the audience they tried to adapt it for this year. Because they will not get it. So you have to make all those changes and just try and get some good lesson for the kids out of it so they feel like they learned something, because it's one of those novels.
So bear with me here. The reason that something like Animal Farm is so difficult to adapt and update or change the time frame of versus something like a Shakespeare, like a King Lear. The reason I use King Lear specifically is because when I was in college, I was in a production of it that was costumed in Russian costume. And I think the thing is the specificity of the Animal Farm allegory.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to tweak every single character in Animal Farm to an American equivalent, a German equivalent, a whatever equivalent, to make it land in a modern context. And at that point, you're just creating a new story.
Yeah.
Whereas something like King Lear, where you have an archetype, or other Shakespeare, where you have an archetype, or even if you want to get as specific and do like a Julius Caesar or something like that, that created the archetype, you can get away with tweaking it the way you want to.
Like Camelot, you know?
Exactly.
Or rather, Camelot's more like Animal Farm, actually, because it's so specific to the Kennedys.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I retract that, I guess? I don't know. But yeah, like, Napoleon is no longer Stalin in this movie. Like I said, if anything, he's maybe Trump? Maybe? But he doesn't have any of the affectations. It's just Seth Rogen doing Seth Rogen, really.
Yeah.
He's just an idiot and an asshole.
Yeah.
Snowball isn't Trotsky anymore. She's, if anything, like, the left?
I was gonna say trans people?
Like...
educated women?
The educated elite, maybe, is like kind of what she is, but it's so vacant because they're trying to keep what the character does in the novel, but also adapt it for this version because she's written off so soon that it doesn't really matter. Squealer in the novel is, I think, Pravda, right? It's the Russian state media.
Yes.
In the new one, he's just an idiot lackey. I think they make references that he's a speechwriter. But, like, he only gives the one speech.
Yeah, Squealer in the novel kind of plays more of the role of getting everyone to agree. Like, an unpopular decision will be made, and then Squealer goes around and individually talks to the animals and is like, hey, look, this is for you. It's not for us. We don't even like milk and apples. We don't even like hot mash. We don't even like barley, but we need it because... it's so much work. We have to do all these files. We have to write all these memoranda. And it's so much work, and it just uses our brains, and we don't want to cause you any discomfort. Do you want Snowball to come back? Do you want Jones to come back? And that kind of shuts down the argument every single time. As soon as there's anything that is even like minorly dissent or like could create a majority opinion where they're all like, hey, that's actually kind of shitty, they just rely on do you want Jones to come back? Do you want humans back?
You know, it just clicked with me what really makes it work is that they removed all the politics out of this new one. What really makes it fail is that they removed all of the politics out of the new one. They don't ever have any votes. The revolution isn't spurned on by like meetings and rallies or anything like that. It's a fight to survive that ends in them chasing the humans off the farm. The humans never try to come back unless they can get paid. There's never like I think there's one moment of all in favor say aye, but when Snowball leaves, she just gets like shouted away. And then just Napoleon just decides to do things. There's no actual like political engineering going on in the background. He's just like a dick. And it seems like they swapped the political allegory for like a business allegory. A farm isn't representing a country in this version. It's just representing a farm. And like, oh, here's what happens if you have losers or like idiots running your company. They're going to make bad business deals and they're going to, get bought out. But if everyone at the company works hard for the boss, then everything will be great. Like, and that was the moral. Let's all work hard for our friends. And one of our friends is the boss. Yeah. That's why it didn't feel good, I think. It's because they made it just about a business thing. It's like pro-small business. And all their financiers who own car dealerships and are millionaires because of it are pro-small business. And they don't want businesses to pay taxes. And they don't want rich people to pay taxes because rich people own small businesses. And that's why we are where we are today.
Yay.
Oh.
Work hard for your friends.
Were you really not expecting an anti-capitalist rant in the Animal Farm episode? like they turned a story written by someone who was against capitalism, talking about the dangers of a dictatorship, and they released it during a dictatorship and made it somehow pro-capitalist.
I think the thing that's hilarious is that there was a literal CIA-funded propaganda version, and we have barely touched on it.
There's almost nothing to say, to be honest with you. Like, it was just a narrator, and like the animation was fine. It was a former Disney guy who I think was the one American hire and a bunch of Brits because they used funding from, I can't remember what it was. I don't have the Wikipedia open and I'm not going to open it. But they used funding from some like wartime or propaganda fund to make it. And they had to use mostly British talent to do it. But the CIA was like shadow backing it for a while. But it's fine. Like, the voice acting is pretty good. The animation is like Disney of that era level animation. It does some good things well. Like when the after they revolt, it's the only version that shows anyone from Animal Farm trying to get other farms to revolt. Is that in the novel?
Yes. They use the birds essentially to spread their information to other farms.
That's in the 54. It's not in the 99. They do reference that like other animals might get ideas. But other than that, like, it's never referenced that this could happen elsewhere. In the modern one, the current one, like, Pilkington owns every other farm. And the animals are basically in cages hooked up to machines, so that's not an option for them. But, yeah, like, revolution spreading only really appears as an idea in the 54. And they specifically put in farmers who are good farmers to not piss off American farmers that would see the movie. Because that was an actual fear. But yeah, there's not much else to say about it. It's short and it's quick.
It is an English husband and wife team of John Hallis and Joy Batchelor. It was released by Louis de Rochemont Associates, and it opened at the Paris Theater in New York. Per the brutal critique of it that I read in the Literary Companion series.
Yeah, forgettable. I remember so much more of the 99. I think that's because it was live action with good puppets. And not shitty CG animals like Wicked tried to do. It looked good. There was good acting. Like Kelsey Grammer was in it. I think Ian Holm was in it. Oh, Patrick Stewart played Napoleon.
See,
like
that's
good.
Yeah.
Like I felt the power of the moment at the end when Napoleon appears in his suit, and it's like. I made a joke in my notes that it was like a big crane shot. Like, how did the animal propaganda department, which the pigs have a propaganda department in that version, like, how did they manufacture this fucking long-ass crane shot out of the farm? But, like, it still, like, moved me, like, oh, shit, they're fucked. He's in charge. He is a dictator. It is happening. And it was, like, it was decent. But the 54 was just not memorable. Outside of some decent animation and hearing one guy do all the voices.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, we kind of touched on everything.
Yeah, I went through the shitty movie.
You suffered.
I suffered so hard for my art.
I had to read.
You got to read a classic. Whoop-de-doo. I got to watch an ASIC.
How terrible. The one thing I want to say that's very funny is the version of Animal Farm that I read is Animal Farm and Related Readings from McDougall Little, which was the library got in 2003, and it looks like it was published in 97. So it contains Animal Farm, a breakdown, like a little excerpt from something called The Rise and Fall of the Soviet Union. And then it contains two other short stories at the end, one of which is The Birds, which is the Daphne du Maurier short story that The Birds by Hitchcock is based on.
Oh, fucking add it to the list.
And Harrison Bergeron, the short story by Kurt Vonnegut
which
that I
mentioned
referenced
last week.
Yeah. Which I think it's hilarious that it was an Animal Farm collection reader and not the fucking Fahrenheit 451 reader, because I think that's closer. But, that said, how did you feel?
Well, for you go first. Do you recommend reading the novel?
I do. The version that I had was 97 pages. The pigs walk on page 91 for the first time, by the way.
30 minutes in.
It was 97 pages. It's Orwell, so his prose is very readable. I don't want to say it's not dense, because, like, the history and the context of it is pretty dense, but the story itself, you can absolutely just skim and it's surface level. But, I mean, it's 97 pages.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It will make you very sad at the end. Especially in the modern era. But, yeah, I mean, I do recommend it. I wouldn't say I liked it, but I do recommend it.
Okay. The 54, it's nice and short. It's well animated. It is propaganda. I watched it for free on Hoopla, which is free with a library card. Most libraries have access to that, so that was an easy enough one to watch. The 99 one, the fact that it like debuted on TNT, rest in peace Ted, like it's a perfect TV movie. It's good enough to hold your attention. It's well enough made that like you want to watch it. And it was an era in TV where like event movies were a thing. And it's perfect for that. It's the acting is doing its job. The puppets are great for what they are.
I would be really curious if Babe
I wonder.
had anything to do with
I wonder.
either Babe as a result of it or Babe causing this.
I think Babe was before, but maybe. But like the animals didn't look dumb when they talked. It was the version I preferred the most. And like I said, it felt true to the story and true to the themes and the morals of the story as well. Mm-hmm. With the tag that I've mentioned at the end. The new one, no. If a small child is watching it because it's playing in a place and no one had to pay for it, it's not going to hurt the child. But it carries none of the substance of the source material. It slimmed down an actual cautionary tale into one in name only by adding fart jokes and modern references and a happy ending that it did not deserve. And any self-respecting adult will not waste their time. Mark, I'm sorry. If you didn't see it before me, I would have warned you not to waste your time.
Is there the weird anti-cat propaganda in there too?
There's a cat in a meeting in one of them that startles everybody, but then they're just happy it's not a human. I think it's in the 54.
Yeah, the cat is basically treated as someone who shows up for mealtimes and keeps trying to convince the other animals, namely the rats and the birds, that all animals are equal now, so they can totally sit on her paw and it'll be fine. I'm not sure who the cat is an allegory for, but it's just like, come on, man.
I like it. But yeah, the new one, absolutely. It's less Animal Farm and more like, what if the setting of Animal Farm, but Lord of the Flies happened? Oh, shit. There's that new Lord of the Flies adaptation.
Oh, you're gonna make me read it, aren't you?
That just came out on Netflix. And I know they made a film version of it back in like the 60s or 70s.
Can we at least watch Yellow Jackets?
And I had to read that in high school. Cody, why don't we keep this season rolling of books we probably didn't understand in high school with Lord of the Flies?
I've made it 33 years without reading Lord of the Flies. All I know is that it's an insult to British school children. I hope that will sustain
love it.
me.
You will love it because, oh boy, do they hate British school children, and so do I.
See, we will talk about this next time, but the only version of Lord of the Flies that I've read is the female version.
Well, until next time, you can find our link tree in the description of this podcast, linktr.ee/soonmajorpod. You can also find our Ko-Fi, coffee, co-dash.
You can buy us a coffee.
Help us pay for fucking the streaming rights. What's it called? Hosting fees.
Good Lord.
Help us pay for hosting fees at ko-fi.com/soonmajorpod. In that link tree, you can also find our email address if you want to send us suggestions, thoughts, complaints, correct our Russian history. Feel free to do that there. Oh, do we have homework for class this time? Because last time, no one did their homework and said what book they'd be. Mark, you failed us. Well, if they're not going to do the homework, I'm not going to assign homework. I'm a cool teacher. You can call me Mr. B.
I hope the long silence indicates my feeling about that.
See, what's really fun is I click one button when I edit, and long silence goes bye-bye.
So what you're saying is I have to make an annoying noise for it to stay in?
You have to go, and then I'll just edit that out.
So what you're saying is I can't win?
No. Unless you want to start editing.
I mean, I've offered. You keep saying no, you'll ruin it.
Yeah, because I like when our podcasts don't have a real ending.